Hello and welcome to your weekend mini nerve. I am your host, Maureen Callahan, and you know we're in for it when the devil horns come back out, and here they are. And underneath it, I'm wearing what I refer to as my shut your fucking mouth t-shirt. Bite your fucking tongue t-shirt. Think twice before you speak. Now, I alluded to this yesterday. There's a guy who has had his profile elevated here in America. I'm going to say the Western world, because he is, and I'm just going to be crass about it. I'm going to be crass about it because he's getting a ton of publicity, and this guy's a con man, okay? He's getting slots on the Today Show, and a huge book deal. I have no doubt this is a huge book deal because he's fucking a friend, okay? He's dating Jennifer Aniston. Jim Curtis is some guy, some bozo who's been on Instagram for like years and self-publishing bullshit books for years. He's a hypnotist. He's a celebrity hypnotist. Now, when this story first broke, I said, you know, Jennifer Aniston is she's less intelligent, and I had the bar low, but I think it's like we're at like the bottom of the ocean floor here, okay? Because how does she know he didn't just hypnotize her into falling in love with him and thinking he's like the greatest thing going? We've learned a bit about Jim. We've learned a little bit about Jim, you know, and we did cover. He had this other book called Quantum Manifesting or some bullshit. It's somewhere here in my studio. You should see the books are piled up everywhere. But it's literally like this. It's like a pamphlet. It's self-published. And you know what self-published means? It means no agent would even take this guy on as a client. Okay. And the book is full of like, it's like this big. It's like this. And it's full of like QR codes. A lot of blank pages. A lot of like workbooky things. Like write down the things that you would like for your life. You know, it's all horseshit. Okay. So anyway, Jim was a guest of honor on the Today Show this week, wouldn't you know? He's got a book coming out in September. And as someone who writes books for a living, I can tell you that means the book isn't even done yet. And by which I mean my supposition that the ghostwriter hired to write this book for this dummy, this himbo, is still working on it. But now we have a new title. It's Transformational Coach. I've never heard of this one before. I've heard of life coaches and, you know, your regular bullshit artist slingers like your Mel Robbins is, you know, that kind of shit. But Jim is now a transformational coach, and he's on the Today Show. And this goes to the like insidious nature of the mainstream media. Craig Melvin, that charisma vacuum, he's sitting there. Now, this is how you know it's like it's a guest of real esteem. Normally, you know, like I say, like the Today Show, it's like the Arcade Fire. They have like 80 people conducting an interview with like one person on like how to handle your finances, and that advice is usually like pay your credit card bills on time and in full. But when you get like the star of the Today Show interviewing you one-on-one, now you're important, right? Do they lead with, hey, we've invited this guy onto the Today Show because he's fucking Jennifer Aniston? No, they do not. Okay. They treat him like he's a real thought leader. Okay. His forthcoming book, which is called The Book of Possibility, Release, Align, Become. This guy is very, very Stedman Graham adjacent, except we know where Jim Curtis is. Oh, and by the way, watch as Jim, who seems very, very nervous, is almost outshined by the work this woman is doing out in Rockefeller Plaza Square. But just agog what's going on at the Today Show. She's like a Beta Gwyneth. She's got like this Beta Gwyneth vibe about her. Okay, so here we go. Jim is going to talk about what's in this book that his hired help has not yet written. Just my opinion. Here we go.
Yeah. So the book that's coming out later this year, what can people expect from it?
The Book of Possibility is a book that is the closest thing to working one-on-one with me. There's so many people who want to work one-on-one with me. I can't see them all, but this book will have guided visualizations that are recorded on a special app. It will have writing assignments, and it has all sorts of stories from clients that I've worked with to help inspire people to live a better life.
So it's not just a book. It sounds like it's sort of a workbook as well.
Yeah, it's very much a book, but it's an experience. You'll have a real experience with it.
Oh, it's a book and an experience that also has an app. Ask Hoda how that's working out for her. Ask Hoda. Now, not for nothing does Craig offer no qualifications that go to Jim's, bona fides. Like, who the fuck is Jim to be giving the rest of us advice about how to live? Does he have an education in this field? Does he have any certifications? Has he done any deep reading? Are there any corporations, Fortune 100 or 500, we could go to and say, Jim spoke there. Jim works with like real CEOs, celebrities? No, not except Jen, who's really pathetic. Jennifer Aniston is really pathetic. Trust me, when I get to this guy's problems, now, this is a real meeting of the minds. There is no better place for a Jim Curtis than American morning television, because Craig is going to ask Jim a question, and the actual, it's like a Russian nesting doll. It's like, I'll explain my antipathy for this question on the back end. Here we go.
Started on Wall Street, sort of made a career on Wall Street. Was there a particular point, a particular moment where you decided you wanted to sort of leave that space and move into the health and wellness space?
Clearly there was, because Jim did leave Wall Street. Wall Street isn't a space, Craig. It's not an emotional center which someone like, Wall Street's fucking Wall Street. Like, Jim probably couldn't hack it. That's my guess, okay? Jim presents as beta to me. He presents as beta. But the question is, was there a moment where you on Wall Street were like, I would like to quit this job and move into this space over here, which none of us know what the fuck it is? And obviously the answer, Craig, is yes, because he did quit Wall Street and he's doing this bullshit for a living and he's sitting across from you. Yes, of course he did. I hate these questions. I hate them. Now, Jim is going to tell us that if we suspect, he's getting ahead of the rest of us here, he thinks that if we suspect he might be with Jennifer Aniston because of her bank account, not to worry, because while he may have all the answers to live a fulfilled, successful life, he's really not good at math. Here we go.
I was on the floor of the American Stock Exchange, and I just knew that there was something more for me, less stress, easier on my body, and I wasn't great at the job. So it was time to do something different.
You weren't great on Wall Street.
I wasn't great at the job. Not so good at math, I would say.
Then what the fuck were you doing there? Like, who, trust me, as somebody who would sneak biographies of rock stars into math class and read them because I knew I was hopeless at it, and I had no use for like advanced like trigonometry in my future life. I knew it. It would never occur to me to go like, you know what I should do? I should go get a job on Wall Street. And my grandfather worked on Wall Street, as did my mom. It never, ever, ever, ever occurred to me that I should go get a job on Wall Street. Okay, now, Jim, I don't believe that you're that, well, maybe he is. No, you know what he's bad at? He should have said, I'm bad at money. That's what he should have said, because the Daily Mail broke this story. I think on Wednesday, they broke this story. Jennifer Aniston's boyfriend, who she is reported to be like on the verge of marrying. Think this through, sister. Jim Curtis lists $1.5 million New York City apartment after putting it up for rent, because he's living over at JA's like $26 million mansion in LA, and missing multiple payments. Okay, the guy, he had a $24,000 plus lien on that property, which dated back like 2 years. It just got paid. Who do you think paid that $24K lien? Do you think that came out of Jim's book advance? I don't. I'm gonna guess that Jennifer Aniston paid that. He also missed 2 successive months of common charges for his building, totaling between $10,000 and $15,000. That's really bad. That's really bad. Craig had the unfortunate timing to do this interview. Not that they would ever have asked Jim if the timing had been better, right? If Jim rolled into the Today Show on Thursday, do you think they'd ask him about that? No, don't be a dope. Of course not. And I'm speaking to myself here. Craig's got more incisive questioning for this successor to Marcus Aurelius. Here we go.
Don't give in to fear. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, fear comes up a lot. We're run by it often. And so we have this natural inclination of fear, and we can step back and focus on the outcomes that we want as opposed to focusing on the outcomes that we don't want. Right? When we're constantly focusing on what if it goes wrong, and instead focus on what if it goes right.
Okay. What about anything that this guy is saying is wise or original or unique? Like, he's basically saying if you're a glass half full person, no, he's basically saying if you're a glass half empty person, try being a glass half full person. Okay, that's free. I don't need to buy your shitty book and subscribe to your shitty fucking app. Jim and Hoda should do a podcast together. Please make it happen. Hoda, you know, Jim is someone who would happily sit with you, unlike your former colleague at the Today Show, Savannah, who, as we discussed on The Nerve at Night, could barely conceal her contempt for you. Okay. Now, Jim is going to talk about what our minds do. This is really good. This is really, really good. And you got to watch Craig's face, because Craig is not even bothering at this point to keep it together. He's not. Here we go.
Our minds are a thought machine. Explain that.
Yeah, that's what our minds are. Constantly thinking thoughts. That's the job.
Jim is now going to explain his affirmations, which his huckster bullshit, like his branding, is that his affirmations begin with I am. Here we go.
When we say I am, we believe it. We believe it's part of our ability, part of our identity. Like, I am a sports fan. I live in New York City. So start to use I am affirmations, like I am good enough for this job. I am ready to get married. I am whatever you want.
This guy is such an embarrassment. He is an embarrassment to himself. He is an embarrassment to, I mean, at least the entertainment industrial complex is showing itself for what it is. Okay. This goes to what we were talking about on Friday's Nerve with the bullshit artists who get big fat book deals. And Jim's book deal, his book deal should have gone to a real writer, a real thinker with something to contribute to the rest of us. Not this horse shit. Troublemakers, next time you're in the kitchen, read the ingredients list on your kid's cereal box. Red dye, seed oils, synthetic pesticides, fake flavors, it's poison dressed up as breakfast. That's why you should switch to Lovebird cereal. The founder created it after his daughter was born, refusing to feed her the garbage that big food pushes. Just a handful of clean, organic ingredients listed right on the front. No refined sugar, no lab-made flavors, and no tricks. My favorite is cacao. It's made with pure buckwheat, cassava, coconut, raw cacao, honey, coconut sugar, and sea salt. That's it. Best of all, it's indulgent, and I also love their granola. It's so light, it's so tasty. The packaging is gorgeous. Grain-free, gluten-free, packed with prebiotic fiber for gut health, and third-party tested, glyphosate-free. Most cereals fail that test. Plus, Lovebird is family-owned and donates 20% of profits to childhood cancer research. Support them. Go to lovebirdfoods.com and try a box. You will taste the difference immediately. If you are ready to take back your breakfast, go to lovebirdfoods.com/Maureen and use code Maureen for 25% off your first order. You can also find Lovebird cereals at Walmart, Whole Foods, Sprouts, and other major retailers nationwide. Lovebird cereal. Join the real food revolution and take back our country's health from big food, box by box. Now, even though Jim just told us That if we just say, I am successful. I am a New Yorker. I am a bullshit artist supreme who can't believe I'm sitting in front of millions of people in America. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying at this point. Even though he just told us to manifest whatever we want and that we can manifest whatever we want. Well, do not try that because you can't do it. Here we go.
And next, and this one seems simple, but for a lot of folks, this is sort of where they get tripped up, taking action.
Yeah, I see in the spiritual world and the wellness world a lot, people will sit and meditate and really try to magically make what they want appear. It could, but like Prince Charming's not coming into your living room.
That's right.
So what is it? Manifest or take? It's very much like Mel Robbins and her let them theory. Her let them theory was like, just let people do what they're going to do to you, and just that's it. Just be very passive. Can't control other people. And then when that's pointed out to her as like a bunch of horseshit and like just ridiculous advice, she goes, well, there's a second part to that. And the second part to that is let me. And that's where I take action. So how are we to take action, Jim? Jim, how are we to take action, Jim? Teach us. He says that all of us, if I do know that there are troublemakers at NBC. So I'm just going to take solace in that. Okay. Because I just wish someone would like get in there and like just fuck with Craig Melvin's cards, fuck with the questions, fuck with the prompter, and put in a question like this. Okay. This would, if I worked at NBC, this would be the subterfuge I would be engaging in. Okay. Jim says that all of us, no matter where we live, what the ecology of said place is, whether it's urban, suburban, rural, the season, the weather, we should all be looking out for one thing. And of course, we're back to manifesting, even though he just told us we shouldn't be doing that, but now we should again. Okay. Now, again, Craig's face is just going to completely collapse here. Okay. And he gets grossly overpaid to act like the legion of dopes who traipse through Studio 1A at the Today Show are scintillating and smart and interesting. Okay. Listen to and watch this.
And last but not least, the yellow fly manifestation, the yellow butterfly manifestation.
I challenge most of the people that I work with in my groups. This is an easy one to start with. The yellow butterfly manifestations. Challenge your subconscious mind to find a yellow butterfly. So at night before bed, write on a piece of paper, remember to see yellow butterflies. Put it on your bedside table. When you wake up in the morning, say, I'm so grateful for all the yellow butterflies that I'm going to see today. And in the middle of the day, say, I wonder where these yellow butterflies are. And then let me know when you start to see them everywhere in your life.
Why does that work?
Because we're training our reticular activating system. We're telling our subconscious mind to go out and find yellow butterflies, right? And sometimes people will say to me, well, I'm in Scandinavia and it's winter. I'll never see a yellow butterfly. And I say, well, you're kind of attached to how you'll see it, right? Be flexible. Maybe it's in a photograph. Maybe all of a sudden you see it on a paper cup.
This guy's a real simpleton. He's a real simpleton. But he's a simpleton who's in debt on his $1.5 million condo in New York City, who's wormed his way into the life of America's favorite friend, who's worth conservatively like $400 million. Write that book, Jim. Get real. Okay, so next, Jim toddled over like the intellectual dwarf he is. No offense to actual little people, but dwarf minds. It's a thing here at the Nerve. He toddled over to the 4th hour of today to meet the brain trust that's on his level, otherwise known as Jenna and Chanel. Now, here in New York, Jim's segment, what a bummer for Jim. It got preempted because we had a grown man crying over at the mayor's presser about the snowstorm here. We covered that on Tuesday's Nerve. New Yorkers didn't get to experience this major meeting of the minds in real time. All 3 brain cells, one for each person on set, like just syncing up and exploding through the screen. So Chanel, God, she's like one of the most recent ultimate DEI hires for real. She introduces Jim by telling us that he's been guiding entrepreneurs and important people for 2 decades. But she doesn't give us any names or any corporations. So Chanel, Either be a responsible television presenter and back that shit up, or say to your producer, I'm not going to say this because this is clearly a lie. Nobody ever heard of this guy before he started fucking Jennifer Aniston. Then Jenna spouts a bunch of garbage about how Jim is here to help people find the, quote, truest version of themselves. And Hoda would like a word, okay? Hoda would like a word. Here we go.
This book has a companion app where there's a bunch of guided visualizations and
I love
hypno
that.
meditations that I've recorded so that people can actually listen while they read.
So you're actually putting the practice to work. Okay, we can't hoard all of your wisdom.
Yeah. Okay.
We have to get to some more questions.
All right.
The first one from Kimoko asked about feeling stressed and overwhelmed.
I feel like my nervous system has really been taking a hit lately. I feel overwhelmed. I feel dysregulated. Do you have any advice to feel grounded when things feel a little bit out of control?
What a wonderful question.
And many people are probably
Is it
having
Chanel?
that
Is
similar
it?
emotion.
Yeah, many people that I work with, I feel like the world right now is feeling that emotion.
What do you charge?
And so the biggest
What's
thing
your
is to
hourly
know
rate?
that this dysregulation, this emotional dysregulation, creates a tightness. It creates nervousness. It creates stress and anxiety. And long term, that can lead to burnout. That can lead to just unhappiness. It can lead to illness. And simply, it's just no fun, right?
Yeah.
You don't have the joy of life. So some of the things that we can do, like in the moment that you feel really dysregulated, is just to stop and realize that dysregulation starts with your thoughts. So to ground, and you can look around the room and find your favorite color. And then if that doesn't help, find your next favorite color. Just make sure you ground into the room.
Oh my God. Ground. So like all hucksters, he's got his own specific lingo. Ground is now a verb in Jim's lexicon. I hate this. It reminds me of, you know what? This other bastardization litters housewives reunions, and the most recent crimes were committed over on Salt Lake. The housewives often talk about wanting resolve. It's resolution. You want resolution. You resolve a problem. That's a verb. Okay? It's not a noun. I like that the English language is elastic. Trust me, I do. But I hate this bastardization. So Jim would have us ground ourselves like an airplane. Ground and start looking for your favorite color. And if that doesn't work, you know what he says? Look for your other favorite color. Now, Chanel tells us Jim is an expert on relationships. How? How the fuck does she know? I guarantee you these questions are coming from underpaid, overworked NBC low-level employees who have been asked to funnel questions over to Jim, okay? Because nobody knows who the fuck Jim is. Here we go.
I'm recently out of a 14-year marriage. I'm really excited about this new stage of my life, but at the same time, I don't want to rush into a new relationship. I'm curious to hear your advice as I navigate this balance.
Alex, I work with a lot of people around this. It's from what I hear in that is less of a need to find balance. It's more of a need to lower fear.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? If you're not afraid, you don't need balance, right? If you're not worried that this is going to happen again, it's going to break up again, it's going to be an issue again, I'm going to be out of balance, then all you're doing is stepping into love and having some fun.
Yeah.
So instead of looking for balance, I would lower fear.
Lower. And how can you do that? Like, how would you tell her to do that?
Grounding. Right?
Same thing.
Staying in the present
You dummy,
moment,
Jenna.
not focusing
Weren't you
on the
listening to
future
him?
you don't want, focusing on the future
Find
you
your
do.
favorite color.
Knowing that you have more control and agency than you possibly could imagine.
I love that. You're so, you know,
I feel so hopeful, man.
know,
Can you come
I
back
know.
every Monday?
Yeah.
Not so fast, Jim. He loves that idea, an invitation to come back every Monday. Maybe he'll bring Jennifer. You never know. Not so fast, okay? There's someone in front of you online. That's what we say in New York. We say online. There's someone in front of you on that line. Here we go.
Our producers wanted to celebrate the premiere of the new fourth hour by passing the torch.
Who could it be? Who's back are we seeing? Hoda, like 2 weeks ago. Here she comes again onto the set of the Today Show. like the specter of death that she is, she will not be denied, holding the torch for what was once an overpaid glamour job that gave her fame and fortune. And I've got Gladys's jar right here. And I'm saying, fuck off to all of them. That does it. That does it for today's edition of The Mini Nerve. My poor microphone. We will be back here again on Tuesday for a full nerve, and again on Wednesday for the nerve at night. In the meantime, please send me your thoughts. Email me at Maureen@devilmaycaremedia.com or DM me on Instagram at Maureen Callahan Writer or at The Nerve Show. Also, be sure to sign up for the Nerves Substack. That is our weekly email to the troublemakers. Go over to thenerveshow.com and remember, subscribe to it if you haven't already. Nerve merch is available at shopthenerve.com, and The Nerve is now available on Megan's podcast playlist every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern on Sirius XM channel 111, the Megyn Kelly channel. We will see you here again next week at The Nerve, where you will never guess what we're about to say next. So many of us use this slower time of year to get back into a healthy routine and focus on looking and feeling our best. Bub Naturals can help. Collagen is often called the glue that holds our bodies together, and as we age, declining collagen can affect joints, skin, hair, and nails. That's where Bubs Naturals collagen peptides comes in. Bubs helps restore collagen levels closer to what your body had in its youth, supporting stronger joints, healthier hair and nails, and smoother looking skin. It's clean and it's simple. No sugars, sweeteners, or fillers. It's third-party tested, NSF certified for sport, Whole30 approved, sustainably sourced from grass-fed cattle, and it mixes easily into coffee, water, or smoothies. Voted 2024's best collagen by health.com, and with over 100,000 happy customers, Bubs also honors Navy SEAL Glenn Bub Doherty by donating 10% of profits to charity. Live better longer. For a limited time only, our listeners are getting 20% off at Bubs Naturals by using code NERVE at checkout. Just head to BUBSnaturals.com and use code NERVE. You're all set. After your purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them you're a troublemaker and that The Nerve sent you.